Hello everyone, my name is Christina Chismar. I am the Recreation Administrative Clerk in Mount Arlington. I'm also a certified yoga teacher. This is Laura O'Reilly Stanzilis. She will be helping me out today doing our modifications. She is the president of our Board of Health, as well as a registered nurse and also a certified yoga instructor. And just wanted to make sure everybody knows, before doing any exercise program, you should get clearance from your doctor to make sure that you're okay to proceed with any of our movements that we'll be doing. If you have any problems with balance, we advise that you please have somebody in the home with you or wherever you're doing your practice. And once again, if you need to, if something's too hard for you, don't worry about it. Great thing about yoga, it's just skip it, do whatever you feel comfortable with.
Great thing about yoga is it's a practice, not a performance.
Yes, you'll never see it in the Olympics.
That's right. It's a practice. That's why it's a practice.
Yes. So go at your own pace. Do whatever feels comfortable to you. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Don't do it. I would like to add,
Please.
I am wearing my mask because we are in the time of COVID-19, and I encourage everybody to please practice social distancing and safe practice. Christina and I are maintaining a safe distance throughout, and if there were more people in this room, we would all be wearing masks.
Yes.
But for the purpose of being able to demonstrate to you so you could see our mouths while we're teaching, we're going to keep our masks down. Enjoy.
Shall we proceed?
Yes.
So invite everybody to take a comfortable seat. If you are modifying it and taking a chair like Laura has, just get into a comfortable position. If you're joining me in Sukhasanas, crisscross applesauce, whatever feels comfortable to you, putting your hands on your thighs, palms up for grounding, palms up for receiving energy, palms up for grounding, depending on how you're feeling today.
Down for grounding, up for receiving.
Yes, because that just makes sense. Closing your eyes. And just starting to get into your breath. Breathing in. Exhaling on out.
Relax your jaw, relax your forehead.
Thank you. Letting your mind settle in here.
If any thoughts come into your mind during this process, just let them move right by like an image on the screen. This is all about letting go and receiving new energy.
We'll start by waking up our spine. So if you like, keeping your eyes closed. Otherwise, if you want to, opening your eyes up. Bring your arms all the way up to the sky. Maybe taking a little half stretch here, just letting your spine wake up a little bit. And then starting with your right hand, bring it out to your side. If you're seated like I am, walking it out just a little bit, keeping your sits bones down. You don't want to be leaning into this. It's a side stretch here.
So we're staying grounded with the
Yes.
hips in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching long through the fingertips.
Exactly. Arm up overhead, trying to keep it in line with your ear, making sure not to let your neck into your shoulder. You want to keep your neck nice and long to keep your spine nice and aligned.
Neutral alignment.
Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1. Lifting yourself all the way back up. If you're seated, you can always switch to the cross of your legs. If you're seated in the chair, just making sure you position yourself nicely. And same thing with your left side, walking it on down, keeping your sits bones grounded. Feeling that beautiful, beautiful side stretch. Once again, making sure not to compromise your neck.
And only go as far as is comfortable. Never push through pain.
No. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to help start waking things up. You shouldn't be feeling any kind of pill.
If you feel discomfort, go back to a position where you're more comfortable and relaxed.
Exactly.
And just breathe into the posture.
And lifting yourself all the way back to center. Do a little twisting here. So keeping your legs how they are. We'll switch them again in a moment. Otherwise staying seated in your chair. Taking your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. We're going to be going into twists. Taking your right hand behind you.
So if you're sitting in the chair, just let your arm hang over the chair. And you want to look over your right shoulder. And never force a twist.
Right. And if you are seated, rolling your shoulders into your back, using your arms as basically a kickstand. The stronger your arms are, the straighter your spine is.
Now, Christina, I can't see you, so let me know when we're coming back to center alignment, please.
Absolutely. Just want to make sure when everybody is twisting, they're starting from their bottom and working their way up. If you turn your head first, I don't know about you, but my body automatically turns, and I'm not always even, but by turning from your stomach and working its way up, I find my spine stays straighter.
It's more stable.
It is. Very wise teacher taught me that when I first got into yoga. Cannot forget that. Breathing into this.
And on the exhalation, release any tension that you're holding in your body.
Inhaling, bring your arms all the way back up, coming back into center. If you're seated, switching your legs again. Little movements like that, it's just like making sure that you're stable. You don't realize what good things are happening just by that subtle movement. You might realize that one knee goes up higher than the other just because you're used to going a certain way.
It's a good time to check in with your body. And if you're seated in the chair, shift your weight from buttock to buttock and settle into that center place. You want your spine to be centered and you want to be in proper alignment so that you benefit the most from these postures.
Yes, especially twisting. Twisting is basically like giving your body a nice wringing. I like to think of it as giving your body an oil change by getting all the junk out of it. Yes,
wringing it out.
It just helps clean out your system. They say that twists are good for detox. So that's basically what you're doing. You're just cleaning out all the yuck from your body.
And you're improving your spinal flexibility.
Yeah. Because you're keeping all the tendons and everything surrounding your spine lubricated. So going on to the left side, it's the same thing as before, arms up, and then dropping your right arm to the outside of your left thigh, left arm behind you, shoulders nice and back, resting your left arm on the back of your chair if you're on the chair, just like Laura is, keeping everybody nice and strong, and once again, nice big inhale, starting with your belly, twisting yourself.
And now, as you said, my head will go last, right?
Yes.
Right. Never over twist, folks.
It's not a contest.
That's right.
Yes. You're not going to join the circus. I'm sorry. It's not going to, unless you're already in the circus. You're not going to join the circus. It's closed.
Make sure you're not tensing up your feet.
All the work should be done around this area. And if it starts feeling too tight,
loosen it up.
Exactly. And the breathing helps with that. The more you breathe, the looser everything gets. By holding in your breath, you're not doing anybody any favors. Least of all you.
I like to call the neck muscles your driving muscles too, so that you can practice looking right and left. Right? See that?
I like that.
One more muscle group to stay in touch with as we age.
Yes, we don't want to get whiplash. You get that pain in your oh no, never. Take a nice big inhale, twisting yourself all the way back to center. I like to do a little realignment here, so if you want to come with me, you can just fold on over. Don't go too far. Do forget, you just have your spine all twisted up, so just letting yourself ease on forward.
Walk your hands down.
Walking your hands. You don't have to roll your spine, even if you just go down this far, as long as your spine is staying nice and straight. That's all that matters.
Right, we're walking it down. Very slowly, never forcing. And if you're able to, dangle your arms.
Mm-hmm. Open yourself up whenever you're ready.
Walking your hands back up.
Speaking of things that feel very good, get into some cat-cows. Cat-cows seated are amazing. Highly recommend them if you have to sit at any point in your life.
Okay.
So if you're coming with me onto the mat, coming into a tabletop position, you're stacking your wrist, elbow, and shoulder all in alignment.
And I'm going to sit sideways.
Perfect. Making sure if you look behind you, you cannot see your feet. So everybody is in alignment, and when you're ready, take a nice big inhale, dropping your belly, coming into your cow position. If you're seated, you're getting that belly right out in front there, just getting all the oxygen you can into it, letting your spine turn in. Naturally, it turns in, so you're just accentuating that just a little bit. Doesn't need to be a lot.
And if you're sitting here, you're going to lead with your sternum, open up your chest.
And on the exhale, rolling everybody back in, trying to get your belly button to your spine.
This is a cat. Think of a cat stretching.
Yes.
Right? Loop your fingers together. Stretch out your shoulders. Bring your chin down to your chest.
Do one more. Inhaling for your cow.
Pulling the shoulders back. Opening up the sternum and the chest.
Exhaling back to your
Back to neutral. Rounding the back like a cat on Halloween, right?
Angry cat.
Any cat, any day cat stretching. Don't overstretch.
And then bringing your spine back to neutral. You're welcome to do more of those, as many as you like. I love them. Make me very, very happy. So, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do a quick little hamstring stretch here. So if you need to stay seated, it's fun to just even putting your legs out in front of you,
So
putting
you're
your
going to
heels
walk
down
to the front of the chair. Get your buttock and your hips closer to the front of the chair.
And for us, we're going to go into a down dog. So we're going to curl our toes underneath, lifting ourselves up, making sure not to roll your shoulders, rolling your shoulders into your back, making sure to keep them situated back there. If you keep your shoulders rolled like that, all you're doing is causing rotator cuff problems. Pushing yourself up, making yourself into a V. You'll definitely be feeling this in your hamstrings. You should not need to feel that in your back.
And if you're seated in the chair, you're going to rest your heels on the floor and pull your toes back. We want to get that long stretch up the back of the leg. And if you want to get the stretch in the lower back, walk your hands down the legs gently and just stretch out the back like that.
Just always feels so good in your hamstrings.
And you can point and flex the feet. You can't really see too well in this frame. Can you see my toes going
I can
back?
see your toes.
Good. And then flex up the toes.
I'm going to lift myself up. Also, you can do with helping with the hamstring stretches, help rejuvenate you. I always think of it as having like an extra cup of coffee because it feels so good. I did jury duty and I was sitting in my chair.
You did not.
I'm falling asleep and I'm just stretching myself out, doing a forward fold, waking up your hamstrings, folding forward.
If I may,
seated forward.
the downward dog stimulates the central nervous system. You're stretching the spine from the tailbone to the cervical area. So that's where you get that energy.
Yes.
Right? And what we're doing here, you're not going to do the same thing in the chair,
Right.
but again, by flexing the feet
Opening it up.
and leaning over, you're getting that stretch in the back of the leg.
Exactly.
What's next?
Let's do a warrior.
Okay.
let's do our warrior. So we'll do,
I'll stand too.
yeah, why not? And then then we'll also do our tree while we're standing as well. Stay, everybody else. I'll stay over here, you stay over there.
Air pump. Okay.
So coming into our warriors, we'll start with my right side, because that's naturally what we normally want to start with. So taking your right foot out in front of you, keeping your knee bent. You do not want to let your knee go over your ankle. Putting your knee over your ankle, all it's going to do is give you knee problems.
Now, if we're modifying, be careful of those knees. You want to turn the back foot out. You're going to keep this leg straight, and you're going to bend the front leg just a little bit. And you want to make sure that both of your shoulders are facing ahead of you, and use the chair for balance.
Yes.
And this is where we're just going to hold, right, Christina?
Yes, exactly. So this is warrior one. It's a 45-degree angle here. Your feet are on railroad tracks. So you're not going to have them exactly aligned. If you need to look down, you can always check that you have heel-to-heel alignment. Once again, like what I was saying, eventually you'll get to a 90-degree angle on your front leg, or you won't, as long as you're not letting your knee go over your ankle.
I'm going to turn it around so I can be seen rather than move my chair around. So you turn that back foot out slightly, shoulders and hips are facing in front of you, and you bend.
Yes.
And if this is all you can do, remember, pain is a sign that something is not right. So if you feel knee pain when you're doing this, don't do it.
Right.
But if you can go down further,
Coming up. Because warrior one is a tough stretch because of the 45-degree angle. Popping your foot up if you need to helps.
one more
If it's
thing,
too much, don't do it.
to protect and strengthen your lower back, you take that gluteus muscle and you tuck it under. If it's loose, you're not stable. If you tuck it under, you're stable.
We're working our Kegels doing this.
And the abdominals are always engaged.
Yes, it's called the mula bandha. So it's all this area here. Everything stays in. Another thing I always notice with this, if you feel like your hips are going out to your side, squeezing everybody in, I like to bring my outside hand, in this case, since I'm on my left side, taking my right hand to the outside of my left thigh. Helps make sure that I feel straightened out.
And I just want to point out for those who are using the chairs, now I'm away from you, I have my 6 feet, my mask is down. I came on that side to demonstrate how to do the pose. If you're doing it at home, you would do it using the chair for support, right? So stay behind your chair and use your chair for support.
Chair is your friend.
The chair is your friend to keep your balance,
Yes.
even though you're working on your balance.
Exactly. But you gotta start someplace.
Yes.
It's kind of like with some of the balances, like when we do trees. Some days I can hold it perfectly, other days, fall right out.
Why don't you demonstrate a tree?
So, without our beautiful chair here, starting with your right foot, you're gonna lift your toes up. We want to be going into all 4 corners of our feet. Toes are not included into that. So keeping your toes as lifted as you can, you're gonna start putting your weight into your right foot. Slowly letting your toes fall down. And it's slowly going to get so much weight that your left leg will lift up. And what you can do here is you can either do just leaning your left heel against your ankle on your right foot.
It's called a coup d'pied in ballet.
I never took ballet.
No.
You look like you took ballet. You can also use your calf, or if you're feeling adventurous.
Now we
Go
in the
straight to your
modification world over here with the chair, we will go from either from here to here, or even just with the toes on the floor.
Exactly.
But what we don't want to do is lean into the hip, right? We want to stay nice and tall like a tree, rooted in the ground, stretching to the sky.
This is one of these poses you actually get better balance the higher you pull yourself up. As long as you stay off your knee though, because when you're doing this exercise, squeezing everything in, you're pushing your foot against your standing leg. So if you push your foot against the joint, you're pushing the joint out.
Yeah.
Helps to find your dristi gaze, which I'm not doing. I'll stay down here. Your dristi gaze is your unmoving point. So in your case, if you're watching our video, you're seeing the Mount Arlington seal. Focusing on that seal as opposed to one of us helps you find your balance.
Finding your focal point. And again, now on the chair side, if you want to challenge yourself a little more, bring that foot to the inside of the calf. And if you're really feeling brave and you want to give it a try,
You can try the balance.
you can try your balance.
Grow
Okay,
your
but the chair
branches.
is here for you.
Exactly. And then slowly easing your way out of it. Don't slingshot. It's a nice thing about having the chair. You can rest your hands on the chair to release yourself. Slingshotting just gives you a chance of an injury. By giving yourself the ability to get that strength to slowly get in and out of things, you're gaining more for yourself, gaining more for your balance. Going into the left side, same thing, toes come up, weight gets distributed into all four corners of your feet as your toes fan their way back down, and your right foot goes up this time. Once again, either on your ankle, on your calf, or going up to your thigh. Finding your balance, finding your unmoving points, growing your branches if it is in your practice, if you are ready for it. Or stay holding onto your chair, staying down. When I first started this, I was taught you can put your finger on the door, on the wall, as long as you don't use the wall for stability.
So you don't want to lean on the chair.
Right.
You want to brush it with your fingertip so that if you need it, it's there, right? So gently rest. And again, there's a lot of the same principle in ballet, bar work, and what we're doing resting on the chair, right? So we're just reaching for the sky as if you're being pulled up through the crown of your head.
A string of pearls. I did Pilates, that was a big thing. String of pearls. It's growing taller, growing stronger. Trees grow up. So the stronger your balance is, the higher you will go. And releasing it slowly on down. Hopefully you're starting to feel that in your thighs. I'm going to do one more balancing. I like to call it flamingo. It also extends itself into dancer's pose. So once again, rooting into your right foot, making sure your toes are not getting all cramped up in there, lifting up your left foot. This time, going behind you. If this is all you can do, awesome. You did it. If you need to, and you can, grabbing with your left hand to your left foot. Going into your flamingo. And as you get better with your balance, you can just start extending yourself out. That's how you get into, one way you can get into your dancer's pose. Just holding onto your foot. Once again, finding your drishti gaze, your unmoving point. Find your balance. Two. Releasing your left foot, swinging out in front of you for a moment, just to get that extra little core work going on there, and then slowly dropping your left foot down to meet your right. Feeling off balance? You should be. One foot, your right leg probably is hurting a little bit more. We're going to balance that out. So once again, left foot gets the weight this time. Once you've got all your weight into all four corners, lifting your right foot up, same thing as before. This is it, you've done it. Otherwise, if you can, if it's in your practice, grabbing your right hand, grabbing your right foot with your right hands.
Or just keep the leg bent.
Yes.
You're going to notice that I'm going back and forth between legs because I'm demonstrating on both sides how you should be using the chair while you're doing this.
I prefer using the chair doing this. It just feels better.
And if you want to challenge yourself, take your hands off the chair. And you'll feel you might be a little wobbly, but that's how you improve your balance. Your chair is right here if you need it.
I feel that all in my core. And then same as before. Releasing your foot, swing it on forward into almost like you're doing a pendulum. Getting your balance here, and then slowly resting your right foot to meet your left. Getting into our hips a little bit, we're going to do a variation of goddess pose. Goddess pose, spreading yourself out as wide as your mat, two knees bent. Or in the case of the chair, spreading yourself out wider than the chair.
The chest is open.
Yes, chest is open. Feet are pigeon-toed out. If you can't get to a 90-degree angle, don't worry about it. Staying wherever feels right. So a full goddess, be the goalpost arms. Feeling your strength here. I feel like this always looks like a chalice. Like this is something you win at the end.
I feel like Atlas holding the earth.
I love it. So since we're pausing here for a moment, taking your hands onto your thighs, putting your fingertips on the inside. Pausing here for a moment, finding your comfortable spots. And when you're ready, starting with your right shoulder, dip your right shoulder in, looking towards your left side. Breathing, take a nice big deep inhale, on up. Exhale, dropping to your left. Inhaling, coming all the way back to center. There's 2 more times. Exhaling, dropping to your right.
This feels great. I can feel this all the way down the middle of my back too.
Inhaling, going all the way back up, dropping to the left. I had one of the gentlemen in the chair class we used to do. If we didn't do this, he got upset. Inhaling all the way back up.
It's like a mini vacation, and I guess you get used to doing it every week.
It was just because it felt so good in the shoulders. Because we crouch over. We hold our stress in our hips, and I'm convinced we hold all the rest of our tension in our shoulders because we're bent over.
I just want to point something out on the chair. Always keep your abdominals engaged. They help strengthen them, and they support your spine. If I were to release my abdominals, I would be slumped over in the chair right now. The purpose is to continuously provide support around our spine using our muscles as a girdle, right? So we need to engage those abdominal muscles. I say,
back nice and straight.
I call it the New Year's Eve dress. You know, you're walking past the mirror and you catch a glimpse of yourself, and all of a sudden everything gets pulled in, right?
I love it.
And if you're a man, your
Same thing.
New Year's Eve tuxedo.
Yes. Well, some of them like the dresses. They feel more for flowy.
What are we doing now?
Do we do our last dip? One more dip. Exhale, dropping right shoulder down. Inhaling on it. Exhale, dropping back down. And coming all the way back up. And getting out.
Roll the legs in and out if you're on the chair. Shift from side to side. Loosen up the muscles, because while holding those legs in those positions, you created tension in the muscles, and you're strengthening those muscles. So naturally, they would feel fatigued. So when you go back to your seated position, just kind of move around and give yourself a little massage in the chair.
Yes, so we're all going to have a seat. So one thing I love to do to help with my fatigue, which I also read actually helps with varicose veins too. Who would have guessed? Doing Supta Baddha Konasana, not Supta Baddha Konasana, just Baddha Konasana, just as butterfly legs. So just putting your feet together.
But you don't want to sickle your toes. Can I add something?
Please.
Doing the butterfly, we're not going to do that here again. We're just going to open up here and create some openness in this area.
Yes.
It provides blood circulation to the pelvic area and is very good for reproductive health. Whether you're in your reproductive years or not, it is good for that part of your body. It brings oxygenated blood to those organs in your body.
Everybody should be a nurse like home.
That's a yoga thing, actually.
I feel like that helps you just be a better nurse, though.
I agree. It's a holistic way of looking at things.
I love it. So staying comfortable, just letting yourself relax. I like to just shake my legs a little bit just to get everybody nice and loosened up. We're starting to cool down here. Yeah.
And just roll the legs out like this.
I had one of the ladies in my senior class, she had bad knees. So when we would do our squats, because I always had them do squats, and she would sit in the chair and she just put her feet together. Nice and easy. So if this is too much for you, just pull yourselves out.
Right.
As long as your feet touch, you're helping with circulation.
You're on the front of the chair. Make sure it's a sturdy chair that it doesn't tip over.
Yeah.
But when you're doing this, if you're sitting back in the chair, you're not going to be able to open up this area. But if you come to the front of the chair, you can get the soles of your feet together.
Yes. Feels good. I just enjoy doing this. Releasing whenever you're ready. We'll get into a quick little back bend. Do a little inversion, and then we'll take a little nap. So I am going to demonstrate bridge, which is pretty much the most common one.
I'm going to turn my chair for this.
She's going to turn her chair because you can do back bend seated down, and it feels so good. Another good pose if you're in a chair too.
Social distancing. I'm taking this very serious.
As you should.
Okay.
I'm in a different oxygen level, so I don't need my mask right now. So if you're coming into bridge with me, bring your knees up, bring your heels as close to your bottom as you can. Pigeon toe your toes just a little bit in. Naturally, when you lift yourself up, your toes are going to straighten out. Protect your knees. And lowering yourself all the way down, getting yourself into a position where you feel comfortable, and you're going to look straight up. Looking sideways, you're just compromising your neck. Nose makes me think of snapping your neck. because you've just done all this work to elongate your spine, warm up your spine, coat all your spine with all the good stuff, and then you just twist.
Well, she's being nice about it. Never move your neck when you're in a spinal alignment position.
It hurts. It's seriously
It's very safe if you just maintain neutral alignment.
Exactly.
I'm going to just coach the chair people on what we're doing next. So in order to get the same kind of openness of the chest that Christina is demonstrating through the bridge, we're going to roll our shoulders back. This would be position 1, and just open up the chest, right? Palms are facing the front. If you want to get a little more of a stretch, roll back and put your hands behind the chairs.
And if you're coming into a full bridge, same thing, rolling your shoulders as best you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. All you're doing here is you're using your pelvis and lifting it up as high as you can go. You're crushing your chin into your chest by lifting your chest into it. Lifting yourself up as high as it feels comfortable.
Now for the people in the chairs, pull your knees together and your feet together and tuck your heels back just a little bit, right? You want to keep your legs in straight alignment. You don't want them out like this. You don't want them rolled. You want to maintain a straight alignment up and down the leg and in the spine. And feel the openness of the chest, and take a nice deep breath in while the chest is open.
Back bends are very good heart openers. And it opens up not just the front, but as well as the back of your heart. For my mat people, whenever you're ready, releasing your shoulders, coming all the way down. Do not roll yourself into a ball. You've just stretched your spine one way. If you curl it, especially on a hard surface, it's not going to feel good. It's going to cause a little bit of back problems. I noticed I had lower back problems when I kept doing that. I like to spread my feet out, squat as a mat, knock my knees together.
And if you're in the chair, again, you could be in position 1, always roll it back and open up the chest, or position 2. Now, if you're in a high chair, I don't recommend this, but you see how my arms go right over this chair? You don't want to use a high back dining room chair to do this. So if you're in a really high back chair, you're just going to roll and open up the chest. And if I could add, another thing that it does is it opens up the chest muscles, which is really great because it allows you to improve your respiratory function by getting the maximum amount of air in with each breath. Yes. But also when you pull the shoulders back, you're strengthening those muscles of your upper back, and you're also helping to improve or prevent problems of posture, right?
How would you hump?
It's hard to hunch over when you're intentionally opening up your chest.
Right? I learned that from a pastor. It's called dowager hump.
Yeah, it also known as kyphosis. Kyphosis is when you lean over, and as you get older, a lot of people in later life, if you get osteoporosis, you get that curvature. But the stronger you keep your muscles, right, as you age, and you're aging even when you're young, right? Each day we're older, we're aging. But the stronger your muscles are, the stronger your bones are. Yes. Because strong muscles push calcium into the bone. And after 30 or so, we don't create new bone matrix, but it can slow down the process of osteopenia, which is a thinning of the bones, and osteoporosis, which is more of a porosity of the bones. So the stronger our muscles, the stronger our bones.
And you don't even need to use weights or anything. No. Just using your body weights. Like for instance, when we were in tree, by pressing against yourself like that, that's how you're helping your bones keep their strength. Because you're using your natural body.
Isometrics. Isometrics.
Excuse me.
Right. I love it. Isometrics. Right? Because it doesn't have a joint action to make it happen. The muscle is still, and it's the tension that the muscle creates and the stability that fatigues the muscle and then makes it stronger. Beautiful. That was our little physiology moment here.
Yes. She's here all week. She lives here. I love her. All right, so usually when we do back bends, we do at least 3 at a time, but in the interest of time, we'll get right into inversions. Inversions, for my mat people, anything that brings your feet over your heart. You're giving your heart a break. My personal favorite, very complicated, be prepared. Feet up. There's actually scientific studies of this. If you do this for at least 8 minutes a day, it helps rewrite the chemistry in your brain to help you handle stress and handle just a lot going on with yourself.
Okay, Nurse Laura has something to add.
Please.
Also, the fluids that pool up in the lower extremities get recirculated back into your body, right? So it helps eliminate or reduce edema, and helps to recirculate the blood all through your body. Now, clearly, if you're in the chair position, I don't recommend this, but if you're one of our chair people, if in the chair for the purpose of this class, I just recommend that you extend the leg straight out, because there's no dependency in the ankle area, right? So you're lifting the leg up and helping to reduce some of the strain off. But when you're at home, it's not a bad idea. Always consult with your physician before doing anything, but maybe just getting your legs up on a pillow and elevating them to help reduce some of the stress on the lower extremities.
Yes.
And for this purpose, we're just going to alternate legs. Pushing through the heel. See, I'm not pointed, I'm flexed, so you want to push through the heel.
Let me finish that round and then we'll go into our Savasana. So take your time.
And can you translate in English what Shavasana means?
Corpse pose. I'm kidding. This is the nap portion of our day. Savasana is the perfect end to any kind of practice. It's kind of the equivalent of when you were a kid and were told you had to get a good night's sleep before the test. It's your body's opportunity to process everything that it just went through. This is when you start getting your muscle memory, when you start gaining your strength, giving your muscles a chance to relax and regroup.
Relax. Right, and it's also, it's called the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a position, it's a culmination of all of this exercise, these poses where you've created tension and then relaxed and breathe, where you can just be, so to speak, dead weight and be as relaxed as you possibly can without being asleep, right? Yes. So in the chair, we're just going to kind of, now I'm giving you permission to slump.
Yes.
You're just going to relax in the chair.
Just start. I like to start from the top, going all the way down. Just start continuing the release of all of your thoughts, everything that's happened, any position you thought today, oh my goodness, don't worry about it. Let your forehead soften. Don't let those little stress marks be there. Just let everything go slack. Let your eyes close, releasing your jaw. You don't need to be taking as deep of breaths, starting to come back into your normal breath. Releasing your tensions in your shoulders, down your arms. Letting go of your hips so your legs spray out to the side. Releasing your knees, feeling no tension anywhere in your body. Not feeling any other stress that's come through your body today, just going straight out your feet.
Now, if you're in the chair and this is not comfortable for you, you can sit up in the chair and just kind of be mush in the chair. That's a good yoga term, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mush. Be mush.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say at this point, when we're coming back to this place where we're reintegrating into our surroundings and coming back into this moment, to take a nice stretch.
Full body stretch.
Not what we tell you to do, but what your body tells you to do, right, Christina?
Oh, yeah. My body always wants its arms over its head.
So we're all unique, we're all different, and we all have different places in the body where we hold tension. So after all of this, Christina's great instruction and all of these postures that she took us through, if your body is saying, stretch me here, listen to it, acknowledge it, because you're really getting in touch with your body by doing these breathing relaxation exercises.
Yoga is the journey of the self, by the self, through the self.
It's beautiful.
I think it was Rumi who said that. Rumi.
Thank you all so much for coming to see us. If you'd like to join us, putting your hands together to your chest, to your heart center, bowing down to yourself in gratitude for coming and joining us today. Delight in us, we honor the delight in all of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel like